You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and you are watching USA Global TV. Our program today is A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. I've hand-chosen a team of people from around the globe who are experts in their field and are happy to come and share some of their knowledge and expertise in bite-sized lessons. Our expert today is Mr. Hiett Ives. Hi, Hiett.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
You are celebrating a special occasion today. Would you like to share with our audience? This is something that many people never have the opportunity to accomplish. So do tell.
This bright young man that you see in front of you is today celebrating his 49th wedding anniversary to his dear, lovely, marvelous wife.
Woo! It's fantastic. Congratulations, Hiett. That really is a major accomplishment. I made it to 6 years, and that was the end. So. So what do you think
having fun.
What is the secret, would you say, we're on the show A Better You, so you've accomplished something very significant. So what can you share in reference to that for people to understand what does it take to have a successful partnership in marriage for 49 years?
Complement each other. When one is up, the other is, when one is down, the other is up, and we speak from different love languages, and being able to speak to your partner's love language and to recognize when they're in whatever state they're in and be able to complement it and help them through it. Just be emotionally cognizant of what's going on and react accordingly.
And of course, in 49 years, I would imagine, just like in any life, there are challenges. There's rain that will fall. And what's the secret to getting through those tough patches?
Stay focused, stay prayerful. My faith is our faith is a major part of our life. We're both very active in our church, in the community. Stay as part of a community, be a part of the community.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing something so personal with us. We appreciate it. And I'd love for you to give our audience a little bit of background about who you are professionally and what we can expect from you today.
Well, I wear two hats, as a lot of entrepreneurs do. I am a business marketing expert, and courtesy of the British, I started That Ain't Not Right, the Use and Abuse of the English Language, and have written that book and do a weekly email on that. And then my professional career has been in the business-to-business trade show world, which I have done all over the world, and have written book number 2, 88 Successful Event Strategies. And with COVID, obviously, live trade shows went dormant. They are starting to reappear, and I am today going to go a step deeper. Last week, I did a 30,000-foot view of trade shows, and now I'm going to take one of the sections of that and come down to 15,000 feet.
Fantastic. Thank you. And we are streaming your banner for people just joining us. You can be reached by your email, Hiett at hiettives.com. That's HIETT at HIETTIVES.com, or by his phone number, 832-372-6900, which, of course, I've said before, is a great number, Hiett. I love it. Easy to remember.
Yeah, when the 832 area code was introduced to Houston, I bought my first cell phone, and the place I went and I told them I was a new business, they dug deep and did not give me the next number in succession. They went and got me the 6900. So I was the beneficiary of largesse.
Well, it is important because we keep our telephone numbers for a very long time. So if you have a number that's easy to remember like that, that's a win.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, I will let you get to your presentation, and then afterwards we'll take a commercial break, and then we'll come back and you and I will chat about it. How does that sound?
Okay, give me the time clock, please.
All right, I sure will. So just wait for the time clock. I'm going to remove myself. Here's your presentation.
There we go. All right. Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. And today we're going to look at what you do before a show. As I mentioned a little bit a while ago, last week I did trade shows from a 30,000 foot level, what you do before, what you do at the show, and what you do after. Now I'm coming down to 15,000 feet and looking at the before your show segment of that tripartite uh, approach, and I do everything. I do everything in threes. So here we go with the three major categories we're going to look at are deciding what shows to exhibit in a particular year, deciding what to show at those shows and exhibits, and then decide on the follow-up program. Now, I'll go into that in a little more detail, but you would think, why would you do that at the front end? And I'll explain that later. All right, so how do you choose the show or exhibit you're going to go into? Well, first thing is talk to your clients. If you've got a good client in a particular vertical and you want to get other clients in that vertical, well, talk to your existing client and say, where do you go to get information on your vertical? Where do you go to interface with your peers in that vertical? And they will tell you the associations, the organizations, and so on. Do the same thing with your prospects. There may be some new events that are coming online that they know about. So find out where the people that you want to interface with are going to be. And then also look at your area of expertise. You may have refined or enhanced a knowledge area that is very applicable to a particular vertical. So you can sell yourself to the event as a speaker or as an exhibitor. So these are simple ways to, if you're brand new and have no knowledge of how to do this, talk to your clients, talk to your prospects, and talk to the show itself. And be aware of where it's being held. Here's a key element. If you are selling a product or service that needs on-site local manpower to make it happen, on-site local servicing, every trade show, whether it's local, regional, national, international, intergalactic, 70% of the attendees are going to come from a 300-mile radius. So if you are a Houston-based company and your product that you're selling or showing at a show needs a lot of hands-on work, then if the show's in Chicago, LA, Boston, it may behoove you, unless you're ready to set up a network in Boston, in Chicago, in LA, it might behoove you to look at rather than look at the national show, look at the state show. So you're going to go to Austin, and there the audience is going to be from your service area. All right. how to choose what to exhibit. So you decided on the shows you're going to. Now, what are you going to exhibit at those shows? And here's where I run into a whole lot of fun with customers. I'm taking a client to a trade show a week and a half from now, and he has 10 products or services. And he says, I've got to have all 10 of them. And I said, no, you will have 3, period. And why do you do that? Well, there's 2. Before I go into that, let me go at the 15,000 foot level. There are 2 schools at work in this area of what to exhibit. School 1 says you exhibit your staple item, the bread and butter, the main staple of your product line. And then the second item would be your bestseller. It might not be the staple; it would be a bestseller, and then a new contender in your line. So it's simply, pick from across your product line, and whatever your staple is, whatever your bestseller is, whatever your new contender is. Now, the second school is the 80-20 brigade, and that says exhibit only the 20% of your inventory that yields 80% of your sales. Now, the key here is you may be in 2 or 3 different markets. So you do the 80-20 in the widget market, you do your 80-20 in the left-handed widget market, and you do your 80-20 in the right-handed widget market. And the features and benefits that you exhibit are different in each. I worked for a nationwide organization several years ago that had 10 vertical product lines, and they exhibited it in major cities across the country. And my predecessor in the trade show department had sent 10 by 10 booths to them to put in those shows, and he sent them all 10 of our product lines, and they were trying to put all 10 up, and of course a number of them weren't applicable for the local market. So when I took it over, I said, I will send you the booth and give me the 3 of our 10 that are applicable to you. And lo and behold, the ROI on those shows greatly improved because they were focusing on the majors. How large a booth do you choose? Okay, here's some known facts that can help you decide where to go in that direction. A 10 by 10 end cap booth is perceived to be 40% larger than its inline counterpart. Now, 95% of the booths in a show are going to be in line. Those end caps and peninsula booths, they cost a little bit more, and this is why, because they are perceived, even though they are the same size, they are perceived to be 40% larger, which gives you obviously a leg up over your competition. A 10 by 20 booth is 4 times as rememberable as a 10 by 10. So if you've got the money and you want to be perceived as the leader in your industry, in your field, in your vertical, go with the 10 by 20. You're going to be 4 times as rememberable. They've taken studies after shows as people are leaving a hall. Which booth do you remember the most? And the majority of them were 10 by 20s or above over the 10 by 10s. And finally, choose your location to play to your advantage. If you have a product or service that is ancillary to or a contributing part of a product or service of a major vendor, the guys that have the 20 by 20, 30 by 30, 40 by 40 anchor booths, if you have something relative to them, get your booth near theirs so that the majority of the people are going to be going to those booths, and you need to be as close to them as possible so you're going to get some of their residual. Another thing in the oil patch, for instance, Pemex would always have a booth, and they always had some of the most beautiful hostesses on their booth. Well, my client didn't have anything relative to Pemex, but I knew that everybody, a large majority of the people would come by the Pemex booth. So I knew that area is going to have more traffic than others. So I put my client's booth literally adjacent to or very close to the Pemex booth, so we were able to be beneficiaries of the traffic that they got. All right, cost to exhibit. Here are some industry rules of thumb. If you've never done on a misspelled budget, anyway, you have if you're brand new and looking to put together a budget, well, how do you do it? Well, here's what you do. You take the show budget at 3 times the cost of space. So if you've got a 10 by 10 ballroom booth that costs $500, then for budgetary purposes on the front end, budget $1,500. If you've got a 10 by 20 exhibit in a trade show in a hall that's going to cost you $1,500, budget for the show $4,500. And finally, if you've got a 20 by 20 expo booth that's costing you $5,000, put a show budget for $15,000. Now, are you going to spend that? Likely not. However, it gives you the cushion that you need for budgetary purposes. Ancillary and direct cost considerations. When you move in, you're going to have electricity. Some have water, some have air, decorations. You need to make allowances for those. Drayage and labor. If you've got a larger booth and you've got a large piece of equipment, drayage is the cost to move it from the dock, the loading dock where it comes into the hall, to your booth. And I did an oil equipment manufacturer, and he had some heavy equipment. I had a show here in Houston where my drayage bill was $30,000. $30,000. And also the labor to put all that stuff in gets expensive. Also, your and your staff's transportation, room and board. Sometimes that has to be worked into the booth and sometimes not. And also customer and prospect entertainment. I've done shows where my client has done 3 nights of hospitality at the presidential suite of the headquarter hotel. That becomes a multi tens of thousands of dollar event that will go into the cost of the show. So how are you going to follow up? You establish a show-specific, audience-specific CRM program in advance. You do this so you can have the implementation mechanism in place before you leave for the event. And you need to implement the pre-event promotion portion of this CRM program immediately. This is where, at the front end, I said, look at the end, and you said, why you've got to have this CRM program together before you do anything. And by doing so, here's another 80-20. 80% of trade show leads are not followed up on. Conversely, only 20% are followed up on. If you get a good CRM program together and follow the steps of that CRM program, then you are going to be way ahead of everybody else. So, in summary, decide on the shows and events in which you want to exhibit, add it all up and figure if that's going to fit in your budget, and then adjust accordingly. Determine what you're going to exhibit at each, and what you exhibit at show A may be different than show B, may be different than show C. And establish, in fact, it probably will be if you are in multiple verticals. Establish your follow-up program before you go to the show. And with all that, you can go to Amazon and get my 88 Successful Event Strategies book. And you can also join my That Ain't Not Right Use and Abuse of the English Language weekly missive. Go to hiettives.com and register for that. And whoops, I went one too far. That's me. We're done. Jacalyn, all back to you. Finished with 30 seconds left.
Very nice. Lots of really good information. Hi, well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. I want to talk to you about it. We're going to take a break first. And when we come back, if you're interested, you're more than welcome to read from your book if you want to read a section of your book.
Okay.
We'll take a break and you can think about it while we're gone. And when we come back, we'll discuss. Thanks so much, folks. Stay with us. We'll be right back to talk about Hiett's presentation.
Have you just lost your job or have been laid off and you are looking to transition to a new job or career? Maybe you have even tried submitting tons of applications and yet you keep getting turned down for jobs you qualify for. Don't wait until you become overwhelmed with rejections when you can easily transition or get your dream job. Let MJW Careers guide you to the right career path and a better, brighter future. At MJW Careers, we know what hiring managers are looking for, and our goal is to land you the job you deserve. What makes MJW Careers a wonderful provider over other services is our pragmatic and scientific approach to resume writing. There are rules, there are visual cues, there are content best practices. We understand those and work within the boundaries to ensure our clients' messaging appeals to the decision makers. Our career consultants will help you transition into new roles quickly and effectively. With our experience in virtually every industry, we will provide direction in the frustrating job market by helping you write a customized, professional resume and prepare you for your interview as well. Join the great number of people we have helped scale up to greater things in their careers. Let us help you on your career journey. Come visit us, www.jobstickers.com, to learn more and grab a free resume review or ebook.
Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
My stomach issues make me want to stay home, but that's not an option. No matter how prepared I am, I still feel nervous. Enough is enough.
If this sounds familiar, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation can offer you support and connect you with a specialist.
Don't keep your symptoms to yourself. Get help at spillyourguts.org today.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck and my guest is Hiett Ives, and you're watching A Better You. Yes, Hiett, welcome back. We can hear you fine. Oh, we can hear you. So during the break, Hiett, did you have an opportunity to...
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I can hear you fine, but while we have a technical problem, I guess, there. We were talking about, Hiett gave a presentation on trade shows, and he's doing a series of 3. And the first one was from the 30,000 foot level, and this one today is from the 15,000 foot level. So let's see if his technology is such that he can hear me now? Are you able to hear
I
me?
hear you.
Okay. All right, that happens. Technology happens. So what we will do is we will take a break and then we'll be right back. I love technology, don't you? We're going to listen to a beautiful, beautiful voice of a UK singer and performer. Her name is Ilo, and she is with Licorice Dragon Records. She works with Tony Moore. We had Tony Moore on yesterday, a phenomenal show. If you missed it, you can go to our YouTube channel. And we will watch Ilo sing her song, Heroes in Disguise. You can purchase your copy. You can download over on iTunes. And again, her name is Ilo. And look at the piano player and see if he looks familiar. We'll be right back.
Picture this, a life where you can leave your pain, a life where you can start again somehow. Picture this, a vision that can change a prayer, happy heart that's always there in the now. So don't be afraid of fear. You know, as long as we're still here, we can be anything larger than life. Rise up from the ground. We can fall down over 10,000 times, then turn it all right back around. We never imagine how good life can be, but inside you and me, we can see past these ghosts in the mirror. We're heroes in disguise. Heroes in disguise. Picture this, losing everything you got, never having had a lot, but holding on and on and on. Don't be afraid to dream, 'cause we are so much closer than it seems. We can be anything larger than life. Rise up from the ground. We can fall down over 10,000 times, then turn it all right back around. We never imagine how good life can be, but inside you and me, we can see past these ghosts in the mirror. We can be anything larger than life. Rise up from the ground. We can fall down over 10,000 times, then turn it all right back around. We never imagine how good life can be, but inside you and me, we can see past these ghosts in the mirror. Heroes in disguise. Heroes in disguise. Heroes in disguise.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You are watching A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. Welcome back, Hiett Ives, celebrating his 49th wedding anniversary. And you just gave us a fantastic presentation on trade shows part 2 from the 15,000 foot level. A couple of questions I have for you, Hiett. I think it's very interesting. You mentioned you're going to a trade show very soon with a client. And I think across the world, people have, I guess, different comfort levels with going to an in-person event. So if you would share with us, what size is the event? How many people do you expect will be attending? And what's the focus of the event?
It is at the George R. Brown Convention Center, which is our large downtown convention center. It is the Houston Human Resource Symposium. This is an annual event that was canceled last year. And obviously being the fourth largest city in the country, the HR community is huge here. And so it is a major technological event. And there'll be several thousands of delegates for educational purposes. In fact, my client is delivering 2 educational presentations over the 2 days, as well as having an exhibit booth for his products and services.
Fantastic. It's great to hear that people are getting back out there and doing events this year. So do come back and give us an overview of how the event went and some of the takeaways. I think that would be very interesting for a future show.
Yeah, it will be the first live show that I have done in about a year and a half.
Yeah, it's good to get back to in-person events, right?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
So you have your book there, and have you selected a section to read to us?
Well, you said rather than do technical sessions, I'm looking at the index here, and I can do everything from what are you showing, show choices, the audience you're looking at, what does the audience want, booth sizes, booth message, budget.
I think budget is always a good one. I think people are very interested, and you did address some of that in your presentation, but as you've mentioned to me, that people are going to be making decisions and they're going to be budgeting for events for the next couple of years. So when it comes to budgets, that's a time-sensitive item that needs to be thought about. So would you like to share more information from your book about that?
It's funny. The book is divided into pro tips, hence the 88 successful event strategies. Strategy 41 was online and outline and project expenses, and it talks about the things that we did in the and the budget rule of thumbs. Let's say ways to save trade show dollars. 5 ways to save money at any trade show. You need to take advantage of early bird discount rates, both for the space cost and for the ancillary services. The lower price exhibit rental. Oh, that's right. Okay. In lieu of building your own exhibit and shipping it there, you can rent exhibits locally and have them set it up and take it down, and you avoid the expense of building an exhibit and shipping it. The event warehouse opportunities. If you've got a lot of material that you're sending to a show, rather than have it delivered to the show dock where they have to get in line, deliver it in advance of the show to the show decorator. And when he comes in 2 or 3 days in advance of the show to set up the booths and to mark the aisles and so on, guess what? Yours stuff goes into your booth before anybody else's. So when you arrive, everything is there. Or if anything is missing, it's missing very quickly. Group travel bargains, and bring your own tools and supplies. A lot of people will order carpet for their booth, but then forget to bring a vacuum cleaner, simple, plug-in vac that they could do themselves. They end up having to spend money on site for the show operators to do that service. What else would you like to look at?
So I have a question for you, Hiett. When people set up a booth, should they be prepared to do business? Should they be prepared for people coming and wanting to purchase services, or is it mostly information about the organization or certain products?
The latter. There was a time, and it's long since passed, that you went to shows to sign contracts. Now you're there to compare, vendor A versus vendor B versus vendor C, and to get information and to set appropriate appointments elsewhere, either on site, off the show floor, or back in their offices after the show is over.
And I know you've been to a number of trade shows, as have I. I used to sell meetings and events, and in my sales career, I went to so many conferences. I'm just wondering, what would you say really differentiates a conference where people leave there feeling energized, they feel they've made connections, they feel like it was a very good use of their money? What do you think are some of the variables that really help instill a sense of, yes, I'm glad I went to that show?
Look at the exhibitors that are going to be there in advance of going to the show. Make sure that the exhibitors are people that you want to talk to, that you can get information from them. As a delegate, one of the things that for instance, that disappointed me about a major show here in Houston, the Offshore Technology Conference. Most every show is an every year or every other year event, and all the players are there at every show. The OTC used to be an every year show. It went to an every other year and then came back to an every year, but said that if you are an exhibitor year one, you don't have to exhibit year two. So you could go on, off, on, off. Well, what happens there is, if I'm a delegate coming to look and compare three providers' products and services, and only two of the three are there because the other one is in their off year, or better, or even worse, two of them are not there, only one is there. So be sure that the purveyors of the product and services that you are going to the show to learn about are actually there. And if they're not, find the show that they are at so that you can better use your time at that show.
Good direction. And let's say you do attend a trade show and there's so many booths. How do you make the most effective use of your time when you're on the trade show floor if you are a consumer / attendee?
Again, once you have looked at who is there, set yourself an itinerary. Rather than aimlessly walk the floor, I want to see these three exhibitors. They are in aisle 10, aisle 14, and aisle 23. Well, make sure you go to aisle 10, aisle 14, and aisle 23 at the very start. And some of them, maybe you can go to their website for the show and set up an appointment to actually meet the right people that you. So as a delegate, you need to do your homework pre-show in order for the show to be most beneficial to you at show.
Excellent. And one other thing I just want to add is many corporations, organizations will send delegates, they'll send people in sales, they'll send people in different positions to attend the event, and they are setting aside a part of their budget for you to do this. So you want to make sure, in my opinion, that you manage that as though it were your own money, because your company, your employer, is counting on you to go to this event and to do certain things, as opposed to, I've seen in the past where people will just go to the cocktail party or to go hang out with friends that they met, and they're not making the best use of their time there. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. You want to set, as I said, make sure you visit the booths that have the products and services that you're interested in talking to. Because here again, as somebody that wants to get information, it might take you 2 or 3 appointments to try to get to their office and get to see the person. But you're at a trade show. The old thing was, before a sale is made, you have to be seen 7 to 10 times. Well, and the sequence is first meeting, second meeting, third meeting. With a trade show, literally the first 3 meetings, who are you? I don't know what you are or what your product or service is. To the second one, oh, it's you again. To the third one, all right, let's talk. You make all 3 of those at the trade show, so that when you actually go and sit down one-on-one with them, it's okay. Let's talk about the specific product that you and I visited with on the trade show floor last week, last month. So the trade show shortens the time frame for getting your product or service bought or sold, depending on which side of the ledger you're on. So that's one of the key advantages, and it also, from the exhibitor side, focuses their attention on the products that you feel are most advantageous to their needs. And some of them may be ones that they don't even know. I took a company to a show that the product they had was differential pressure control equipment. Well, I didn't even know what differential pressure control equipment was, but the header that we put up on this company's booth was differential pressure control equipment by the XYZ company. By the XYZ company was tiny. Most other people had, XYZ company, XYZ, ABC company, ABC company across their banner. I had, here's what we do, differential, and literally people stopped in the aisle, stopped dead. Whoa, you do differential pressure control equipment? I need to talk to you. So presenting yourself, that's a whole nother topic, how you present yourself as an exhibitor, how you identify yourself on your booth. I just put together, here is the pop-up banner for my client that I'm taking to this show in a week and a half. And it is very concise. It has the name of the company. It asks the open-ended question: how important is team engagement to your team? And then his contact information. So that's another element of making sure your show participation is most advantageous for you and for your prospect.
Fantastic. And maybe this will be covered in another show, but I also think it's important that whomever you have manning your booth, that they are in comfortable shoes and that they are in a great mind frame so that they are welcoming to other people. Because we've all seen people sitting at booths like, tired, frustrated. So you want to make sure that you have staff. They're able to work in shifts so that people stay motivated and engaged.
In my booth, you have a cafe table, cafe high table, and you have stools. You do not have chairs, so that you are literally halfway standing. You can't be any more than halfway sitting, if you will. You might lean back on the stool, but you are almost at eyeball level. And I teach my clients how to ask an open-ended question of everybody that walks by the booth. Hey, Jacalyn, how do you use this in your operation? Who in your company is responsible for this? What application do you have for this in your operation? When was the last time you used this in your operation? So who, what, when, where, how? And you ask that ask that same question over and over and over again, open-ended question that requires the person you're addressing it to either qualify or disqualify themselves. It's just as valuable for somebody to say, hey, that's out of my wheelhouse. Our company doesn't do that. We don't use that. Fine, get out of the way so I can talk to somebody that does. Or if I say, how do you use this in your operation? Well, I know we use it, but that's not my wheelhouse. You need to talk to Sue. Well, fine, give me her contact information. So it's who, what, when, where, how. And that's a whole nother lesson on how to staff your booth and how to address your audience and how to get your audience to tell you whether or not they are qualified for your product or service.
Fantastic. Well, we'll look forward to future lessons. There are obviously many more topics when it comes to trade shows. So thank you so much for being here today and for sharing with our audience. And we are streaming your contact information, but for people on the radio, what's the best way to get in touch with you and who should reach out to you?
Those of you that are looking to do trade shows, or those of you that are doing trade shows and want to do them better, I guarantee qualified leads to any business-to-business trade show. You can get me at Hiett, which is Hiett, sounds like the hotels, just spelled different, Hiett at HiettIves.com. I am my product. And my phone number is 832-372-6900. That's 832-372-6900, Hiett at HiettIves.com.
Thank you, Hiett, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow afternoon when you return on A Better You.
Thank you, ma'am. Look forward to it.
Thank you. Until then, you enjoy your anniversary celebration. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye. And we'd love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV. If you'd like to join our team, we are accepting people to as candidates to be screened and interviewed. And you can contact me at Jacalyn at drjacalyn.com. And I announced this on the last show, and I'll announce it again on this show. We're very excited because as of today, the United States Patent and Trademark Office approved Dr. Jacalyn as a registered trademark. So I'll be changing the TM everywhere to R with the circle. So that took about 7 months and back and forth 2 or 3 times, but it's finally been accomplished and I'm very excited about it. It happened today. So thank you again. We're happy that you're here. Please join us for It's All About Dating at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll be back with another A Better You at 5 p.m. Eastern Time with our expert presenter, Mariska Dupree. Thank you again. Thank you, Hiett. Happy anniversary, and we'll see you all back shortly soon. Bye.